Okay, we've got our top two in points and our top two starting in the starting lineup tomorrow for the race here at Martinsville Speedway. And our points leader is Carl Edwards to my right, and he drives the number 99 Aflac Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. And to his right is Matt Kenseth, our second in points.
So we're both to your right.
Well, immediate right. Far right is Matt Kenseth. He drives the number 17 Crown Royal Ford, also for Roush Fenway Racing. And Carl, you were joking to me as you walked up. This was probably your best qualifying effort to date at Martinsville, probably for both of you guys here at Martinsville. But talk about that now, being able to get that number one pit stall selection. It's track position here is so vital, so critical. I know some of the other Chase guys yesterday were hoping that we could qualify. So
I'm sure they are.
But anyhow, talk about where we are right now.
Well, qualifying, I think, is one of the most important parts of this race, and it's no secret that that's been a tough thing for me and Matt as well. So I think it's best case for us that we get to start on the front row. And I think even better is the pit stall selection. I think that's going to last all day. No matter how much we have to work on the car, things we have to do, that first pit stall will be great. This is my first time having it, I believe. So that's best qualifying we could have expected or hoped for.
Matt, you have anything to add?
Yeah, lots happened since I've been here yesterday. No, not really. I mean, it's always nice to start up front, but I don't think any of us have any idea because we haven't practiced yet. But we started right by each other in the spring race because they dropped the green and I switched lanes to get in front of you before the start-finish line. So,
well, you got penalized on that, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, and then lane choice is important. Carl's going to pick the top, so I'm looking forward to already being in the bottom. But no, nothing's obviously really happened since we've been here last. Don't have much to add.
And, I know they're drying the track, trying to get out on practice right now. So we'll take questions now for Carl or Matt. We'll start over here. Dustin, have a question? We have a wireless mic. Oh. There you go. Our boys in the raise your hand. We got the guys here in the checkerboard jackets today.
It must be awesome if we actually qualify this well. We have to do this often.
Dustin Wall, Landmark Newspapers. Besides this pit stall selection.
Thank you.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Besides the pit selection, how does starting up front matter, at least the early part of the race? Because realistically, if there's a caution in lap 60 or 70, the guys behind, the back half of the field, they're going to come in and pit. There's going to be a different pit cycle. You're going to be back in the back at some point. So why does this matter? How does this matter? Or what does it do? Because certainly you guys have started in the back before here and have had some good runs in the past.
Well, I think that we want to lead a lap, get that point. So if I can hang on for one lap, maybe I'll get to lead one. That would be great. And I think that, like you said, anything can happen during the race, but I believe the pit stall selection is more important. I mean, Matt, if you watch what Matt got black flagged on the start, the first lap of the last race, and he still made up his lap and drove all the way up there and had a really good run. So if your car is fast, you'll probably end up in a decent spot anyway. The only bad part about qualifying like this is if for some reason, or having qualifying rained out, if for some reason, we would have qualified well anyway, we maybe could have had a bigger advantage on the folks that were racing in the points, but as it stands now, they're starting right there behind us, and our closest competitors will have good pit stall selections as well. So it kind of almost takes qualifying out of the equation by being rained out. As far as the chase is concerned, you can't gain a big advantage on someone or lose something. But I don't think anyone. I believe the pit stall selection is the biggest thing, and we obviously got our 99 team got the best pit stall there, so that's good. I'm just hoping Bob will pick the first one. I think he will.
Go ahead, Kenny. I'm sorry.
What was it like going through the field in the spring?
Me?
I was going through. I was going the other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever qualified good here. I think I don't think, you probably know better than me, but I think I was on rain too. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we never qualified in the top 10 here if we actually had to get the car on a track, so probably not, I don't know about top 20. So it's not a good track for us qualifying. I can't recall everything that happened in the last race except for that. But I think we did get some long runs, and our car was pretty good on a long run. And this is one of those places where your car is a lot different on a 30-lap run than what it is on a 100-lap run. Like you see some guys that are real fast taking off, and their cars turn really good, and it seems like they end up getting really loose. And then there's guys that maybe start a little slower, but are really fast at the end of the run if you get a longer runner on older tires. So our car was pretty decent if we could run more than 20 or 30 laps, and we could actually make some passes. And Jimmy made a couple good calls and had some good stops and got back there. But certainly it's easier when you can start up front. The only aggravating part about it is you don't have anywhere to go except for backwards. So it gets aggravating if your car's not real fast and you're losing positions.
Do you set your car up? Do you go into this weekend or the practice session? Do you go into the practice session wanting to set your car up for longer runs for tomorrow? Because certainly I think with the spring race, I think we certainly saw some longer runs than maybe. And it seemed like it's kind of been progressive here at this track.
Both of us? I mean, I think you want both in a perfect world. I think you want to find some kind of compromise. I don't think you want something that's real fast for 20 and real slow for 120 because, like a lot of tracks, I think track position is fairly important, and you're going to try to keep that track position even if you have some used tires, then depending how many laps you have on your tires. So I think you want to try to find kind of a happy medium. You don't want to start so slow that you get shuffled off the bottom right away. But I think certainly having some speed, 50 laps into a run is going to be important as well.
We'll go Kenny and then go to Jeff.
You through, Dustin?
Yes.
KennyBruceSceneDaily.com. For Carl, it seemed like last week that there were a couple of instances where guys stayed out on the track to keep you from leading a lap. Was that the case, and is that something that we see or are going to see now, that guys are going to be doing everything they possibly can to either gain as many points or keep other people from gaining points?
Which cars did you see do that? Which ones did you think?
I want to say the 24, but I wouldn't swear to that.
Yeah, I thought about that when we were out there trying to stay out and lead a lap, but I mean that's their job, is to do whatever they can to. I mean that's all of our jobs, is to beat everyone else, and not just on the racetrack but in the points. So I didn't think about it until it was going on, because we kept staying out and somebody'd stay out each time in front of us, and I thought that was a pretty good strategy on their part if that's what they were doing. But what was your question exactly?
Is that something that we're going to see now? I mean, we haven't seen that before. Like, okay, now somebody's found something else that they're going to
Yeah, you might. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, but I should have. I guess we should probably think about those things. And as it gets closer, you know exactly who you're racing. You probably do a little bit more of that. I think that's just good strategy. I will try my hardest to not let Matt lead a lap on Sunday.
I think Talladega is a little different, though, too. I know what you're asking, but I think one thing you got to think of is all these guys were trying as hard as they could to stay in the back. So that's why they were staying out. They knew they had to come out of the pits last, so they're just staying out until one to go and go in the back. And I don't believe you'll see that happen again this year, so I think it's totally different.
And some of that was fuel, too. I think you wanted to stay out as long as you could, for fuel. But I thought about when Mark stayed out, he was the only car in front of us, and I thought, wow, maybe they're doing that, but, I wouldn't fault him for it.